Hello, and welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, and with me today on this lovely hour change spring morning, Katie and Kyle. How you guys doing this morning?
Good morning. I had technical difficulties this morning. Aside from that, I'm well.
Good. You look well.
I'm actually bitter and resentful. I don't like that an hour of my weekend has been taken from me.
The trade-off is more
every
light.
hour is precious.
You're right.
You know what? In the summertime, even without the time change, it would get dark here at like 10:30 at night. So it's like adding an extra hour in the evening. I'm like, why we do this?
Oh yeah, you're pretty far north, aren't you, Kyle? Yeah.
It is weird. I don't know why we don't just split the difference. Meaning, like this year, just go go forward half an hour, and that's it. Then we just never change it again. Like just split the difference, and then it's just done. Because it all averages out anyways. We keep going back and forth.
So they keep having conversations about it, like in like Congress and stuff. But I find it's just annoying because like some places don't do it. Places, it's a mass. It's a cluster.
Yeah, you have to all be in unison. I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? I love that we live in a world where the hour change right now in our privileged life is the one thing we're complaining about. So we have a pretty
well, it's not the one thing I'm complaining about.
Well, on the air. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to keep things going here. We've actually got a big show today. Not a lot of emails and no emails. Let me make that clear. There's no emails. Okay. But we do have a couple of YouTube comments. But we do have a lot of footage to get through today. I'm really excited to share this with you guys. Here's a tease. The video I have today, even if we get through it today, we might not even get through it today. There's so much. The video I have today is all work print.
Ooh, excited for me. I've not seen. This is like all brand new to me.
Yes and no. We'll explain it. There's a lot of footage that you've seen before, but anyways, I'm really excited to share it. I want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. So, but let's go over the YouTube comments first, Katie.
Eccentric Views says, I just want to say something derogatory. This episode was great. Winky face with the tongue out. I love it. I love it. We will stop here to talk about the fan video. Oh, that was your stage direction.
That was the show notes. Good job, Katie.
Well, it wasn't in another color or italicized or anything.
Ryan. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, Ryan, who does everything. How could you? I know.
Sorry.
I was going to show up here having done zero work whatsoever and then be like, well, you should have done it this way, Ryan.
Well, let's talk about it. Now, you both have seen the video I'm referring to. So, Eccentric Views, who has this channel, well, of course, it's Gino, our favorite Italian Australian Gino. He has a YouTube channel called Eccentric Views. So, when he comments on our YouTube channel, that's, of course, he's using his YouTube channel to comment, but it's Gino. And remember, he said he was going to make us a fan video, or just like he's a fan of our show and he wanted to make a love letter to us in a video. Well, he did. So on the show notes for this episode, I'm going to put the link to his video if you haven't seen it yet. So if you're listening to this episode and you I guess you're a fan of our show because you listen to us, I'm going to link Gino's video that he did that you may have missed, because I thought it was a really nice and sweet gesture. The fact that he took any effort, like we talked about before, like Mikhail's mentioned that emails are tough to write. Can you imagine creating a fan video for us? That I just thought it was very sweet. What was your guys' thought on his video?
Well, first of all, yes, extremely sweet. Second of all, it was awesome. Like all the little insider things, like the because we talked about on the show, Kyle brought up, well, Ryan, maybe you should, at the end of season 5, do the black and white measure of a man. And Gino incorporated that into the video. Like it was just, he hit all the right notes.
Yeah, it was awesome. Kyle?
Oh yeah, it was a really well done video. Like you said, I've never seen Gino before that time. Maybe he's on his channel. You can see him. I hadn't been on there before, but it's always cool to put like a face to the name. And I really appreciate the video. Obviously, like it was very kind and very charitable. So, and very well done. Yeah, Gino's a cool guy, and he educated me on the Italian community down under.
Yeah, he's not bad for an Italian kid. He's not bad looking. So
yeah. We didn't see his butt in the video.
We didn't see his butt.
If it's good or not, I'm gonna assume it is though.
Do you know which city should I visit in Australia that has the most Italians?
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, Australia's a beautiful country, or slash continent. I've been there before. Beautiful. I loved it. Beautiful people, great. Even though it doesn't exist, it's fake.
Yes.
I love
I'd
that.
love to go to Australia. It's just it's
It's very far away.
so yeah, like I don't have enough vacation time that
Mhm.
Yeah,
like I could actually go down there and enjoy myself and come back up here, especially
right.
with kids. But I do it is on my bucket list of places I want to visit eventually. It seems
Yeah,
really
I
cool.
just lucked. I lucked out just because obviously Navy was one of our
Yeah,
port
yeah.
visits. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's the one good thing about the Navy. A lot of sacrifices I've made being in the military, but I've seen the world legit. I'm going to write down all the countries I've been to one day, but I've been to a lot. Well, I've circled the world. It's pretty crazy. Um,
Ryan,
yeah, sir.
I should take a picture and show you what I like. Have you seen those world maps, or sometimes it's even a globe where you scratch off or color in the countries you've been to?
Oh, okay, I understand the
You should,
concept, but I
yeah, you
yeah,
should. If you've been, yeah, I think you should do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's like
Can
kind
I?
of the rage on the map porn subreddit. People
Oh,
are highlighting in their where they've traveled.
okay. Cool. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, all the places I've been to more or less touch the ocean, so it's got to be touching
Hey!
it.
It still counts. The only thing I don't count is if you've been to the airport in a
Airport,
place.
same. If
Okay,
you
that's
didn't
fair.
leave the
Yeah.
airport,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to step on the land. That's fair. No,
Mhm.
I agree. Okay. Yeah. Qatar. That was the last foreign place I've been to was Qatar. Okay.
So Ryan, are
Yes.
you like you're not a flat earther then? Having gone around the globe,
Hey.
you've seen the edge. You could say for sure we're not on a flat disc.
Well, he didn't fall off, did he?
That
That's
wow,
true.
maybe he kind of just turned around near the edge. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I'll say is I can't confirm or deny what I've experienced in the military. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, okay. I do remember you messaging once, and you're like, "We're out of North Korean waters now," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. We did get one email, but this is a very short email, but it's a picture email, and I'm going to share it for you, Katie. It's from Simon. So Simon, I do a Rambo podcast, and he was actually my guest on the last Rambo podcast I did. So if you want to check it out, it's a long road. We're rebooting that podcast. It's a long road, the Rambo series podcast. Katie, do you have something to say about Simon?
I just wanted to say it was an excellent episode. I listened to it this morning.
Oh yeah, Simon was great. Great
Mhm.
stories, and we really have to watch his film. Now we're really beholden to watch his film.
100%.
Yeah. Anyways, great stuff, Simon. So he's a long-time listener of show, long-time supporter. It was really nice to meet him in person on the episode via FaceTime. But he said this: "Hi there. I'm sure Katie could find a usage for this item. Keep up the good work. All the best, Simon." So this is what he's referring to. See if this comes up here.
I don't know. There's all sorts of things going through my head as to what this could be.
Okay, here we go. Just give me a second, folks. It's StreamYard's been weird lately. I have to add things one at a time. So here it is. Okay, so there it is. So apparently, for those who are listening, so I gotta explain before you comment what you'll do with this, Katie. So this is Planet Hollywood's frozen Sylvester Stallone's body from Demolition Man is up for auction. So this is real. So you remember that scene in Demolition Man when he was what do you call it, cryogenically frozen in the
Mhm.
movie? That was his. That wasn't Sly, obviously, in that case. But they did a really good model sculpture of Sly. So when they filled it up with the goop, that's his body there. Katie, would you like to have that? Are you gonna put an auction up for that? I should say.
Well, for the low price of starting bid, $1,500, but estimates up to $6,000. I gotta say, I dig Sly's body. This is weirdly, I don't want this. This is weird. It's awkward. I don't like any of this.
What's awkward about it? So
What do you, the pose? I mean, I don't know. It is not sexy.
But
If there's a way to make,
he's already in a sort of semi-spooning position for you. Like you could almost have him spooning you a
yeah,
little bit.
it's
Yeah, I was gonna say the
based-
knees are up too high though. I was trying to think his position is not the best for any activities you want to do with him.
if
Like smuggling, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would have otherwise thought would be impossible to make him unsexy this era of Sly, but boy, they managed to do it.
But I like his hands. Both of his hands are out. They could be cupping your breasts a little bit, but
Jesus
they're really
Christ.
They're
Well,
really
he's very far away.
I was gonna say they're far apart, so you have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyways, yeah. You know what's funny? If I had money, like I wouldn't even have to say like Elon Musk's type, but just if I was like a multi-millionaire, billionaire type person, where literally my life is just buying things just because I can, I would buy this in a heartbeat. I would just love to have this in my house. Like, check it out. I've got Sly sleeping in my bed type jokes or something. Like, it would just be so much fun to have this thing. So yeah. All right.
Hey, this is something we can crowdfund. We can crowdfund this to buy Katie the.
I mean, Simon concurs. Get that Patreon money. Put that Patreon money to good use.
Oh yeah. Well, we're about we're only short $5,000. So
if I know Ryan, I could tell you this: he's only does this for the money. That's he actually doesn't care about Rocky. He's just doing this for cash. There's one money grubbing scab after another.
Yeah. And Kyle's mom concurs that the video that Gino made is a very worthwhile watch.
Hey, Mama Son, did you watch that during our show? You better not have stepped away from our show to watch that. That's kind of rude, but otherwise, yeah. All right. So there you go. So we'll see if anyone buys that. If you buy it, let us know. That's fantastic that they're selling that. I think that's great.
You could really creep people out. Like if it's life size, yeah.
I don't need any help creeping people out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, I'm legit excited to show you guys the workers print because, it's so crazy how one of the biggest discussion points that we had on our show regarding the training montage with Rocky's son preparing for his bowling fight and Tommy Morrison was what? What was the biggest issue we had with that? Do you recall? I'm not trying to lead the witness here, but what would you say one of the biggest issues was?
The time period?
Yeah, timeline. Because Robert fighting for his jacket interspersed with Tommy's rise in the ranks and his fight in the ring. It's shown, and no other way to show it. It's shown it's happening congruently. They're happening together. So we had to surmise that Tommy had 16 fights in 3 months or whatever that was. The workers print did not do it that way.
Wow. Okay. I'm very curious. But before you get too far down this line, Ryan, we do have another comment to read.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad. You have that in front of you. My apologies. There's a tease. Less people left our show. So there you go. Stick around. Yeah. Okay.
Andy Grew says, how about if Adrian had been added into the Robert arc? When she says, you're losing us, there's not much of an us. It was really just Robert. It should have been more of an us. That's what I meant. I didn't want to see them break up. I just didn't buy the father-son, Mickey Rocky mentor-mentee thing because there was such a little foundation for it. That's why I wish Sly had used Sage in Balboa, because when I think of the character, I think of Ventimiglia, simply because the writing for him was so much better. Sage deserved better writing from the old man. Thank you for clarifying that, Andy.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I love about Andy? He watches our show, but I don't know if he enjoys it.
Nice.
He's like, you guys just No, that's a good point about Balboa and the writing. Yeah, you do. I think of Ventimiglia for other reasons too, but yeah.
Yeah.
She's talking about his role on the show Gilmore Girls. So she's
actually, I've not seen that, and I'm kind of scared of it. I love him older. Like, I like a man. I don't want a boy. You know
Honestly,
what I mean?
He looks like the same age. Like, he looks pretty boyish anyway, right? Especially in Balboa.
He does. That's right. He does look. I mean, he looks great, but he looks like a man now, like in the sense of like he looks like he's in his 40s now.
40s. He's near 50, I think, and I like him now. Even in Balboa, he looks too young for me.
He's pretty young.
Yeah, makes
need
sense.
to grow up a little bit.
Really young.
Yeah.
You watched This Is Us, I presume, with him?
Yes. Yeah. And I really like him in that.
Yeah, he really was excellent in that role. Like, he really stole the show. Him and his counterpart, what was her name?
Mandy Moore?
Yeah, she was fantastic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the whole cast was, I should say. So okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Andy, and thank you to all those who comment. We are missing our emails, but that's okay. That's okay. We did get the one from Simon. So if you have any more naked Sly photos that you want to send us for Kate, that's fine. Okay, so here we go. Here is the workers print. Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks since I made this file, so bear with me of what we see. I think at the beginning part of it is, oh yeah, that's right. So it starts off with, okay, sorry, let me get my head together here. So we're going to see scenes right now that were used in the montage, but now we're going to see them without the montage, like just as they were filmed. Like the workers print didn't do this montage the way we saw it in the theatrical cut. A montage is coming, but check it out. It starts right away with this scene. That's all I'll say. Here we go.
There go, Tom the gun. Come on.
This is what I mean. StreamYard has been weird lately. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so for our audio listeners, right now we have a great shot of probably a sunrise in Philadelphia. We got the Rocky statue at the top of the steps, and we're going to see Rocky and Tommy running up the steps. There's no music. This is just them training, working out.
There go, Tom the gun. Come on. Come on. Come on, Tom the gun. I beat the man. I don't believe it. You know, you were so swift, man. You know what I want? What's that? Man, I want to be a great fighter, like you used to be. Hey, listen, Mickey used to say.
Okay, so now the part that we see, of course, in the montage is them running up with the music, the cartwheel. We mentioned, hey, it's funny that Tommy did a cartwheel, but now we're getting this extra little dialogue here, which it's just fantastic. There's so many scenes coming up here that are just, they explain a lot, and I just wish they didn't take it out, because what we're seeing here with Tommy that you'll see is it really fleshes out his beginning journey, how he felt, or how he felt about Rocky, how he felt about being trained by Rocky. It's actually a lot deeper, and it makes it more heartbreaking in a sense because of the start of it. Yeah, any thoughts?
I want to be a great fighter like you used to be. I don't know why that he could have phrased that a little more in a more flattering way, but like that's like saying you look good for your age.
Yeah, sure.
You
look
know,
good for an old person. Yeah. Kyle, is he frozen? Oh
no, I'm just attentively listening.
You're part of the show here.
Am I though? Right. No, I was kidding.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, I don't know. This is
okay.
Yeah, I always like seeing extra clips and stuff. I did have the same reaction as Katie when he said when you used to be. He's not wrong, right. But like, yeah, you don't have to say everything you're thinking, you know.
No, you don't. Okay, so now we'll listen to the dialogue. So this dialogue definitely was not in the theatrical cut, because at this point they've moved on to the montage. Now we're hearing the discussion they have beside the statue here.
Hey, listen, Mickey used to say, to be a great fighter, see, you gotta beat a great fighter, right? Hey, Rock. What's that? You know, when you were first starting out, how do you think I'd done against you? Me? Yeah, you would have punched me to Pluto. Really? Hey, come on, what? I lied to a juvenile. Hey, look, we gotta get to Pittsburgh before breakfast, too.
Okay, did you catch all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to do what before breakfast?
Take a piss? Is that what he says?
I couldn't quite make out what that.
That was hard to make out. Well, let's go back a bit. I wouldn't mind hearing. He did say, Mickey used to say, to be the best, you've got to beat the best. That's
you have to be to be a good fighter, a great fighter, you have to beat a great fighter.
But do you see how this contradictory a little bit? Rocky 3, they was handpicked.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So did you not view Rocky as a great fighter? It's interesting. Like, yes, his job was to protect him, to keep him winning. We understand that argument, but it's just interesting how Rocky in this world is now saying, Mickey used to say, to be a fighter, you got to beat a great fighter. Now, you ended up beating Clubber, yes,
but he beat Apollo. He beat a great fighter in Apollo. Yeah. So he earned his stripes as a great fighter, and then after that, when Mickey's, set up those things to basically run his career out. Because he should have stopped right after Apollo, health-wise.
Right.
Yeah, you could argue become, like, he did become a great fighter, and then from then on, he just was like status quo.
Right. Now, Donald does bring up a funny point. Sly took that from Ric Flair. Yeah, Ric Flair used to say, to be the man, you got to beat the man, because that was Ric Flair. He was the man. Like, so to be the man, you got to beat me, Ric Flair, the man. Yeah.
I thought he was Nature Boy.
Yeah, he was Nature Boy Ric Flair, but he was also the man. He was everything.
Oh, okay.
I just want to go back a little bit, guys. Sorry, I just want to see if we can catch any more of that dialogue again.
Me? Yeah, you would have punched me to Pluto. Really? Hey, come on, what? I lied on Juvenile. Hey, look. We gotta get the Pittsburgh before breakfast, too.
The piston something
Before breakfast.
Get
I have
to
no idea.
maybe it's
No
like
idea.
a location they
It might
need
be a
to run.
location. We need to go somewhere before breakfast. What that is, that's what I mean. We got to get the piss in. That's what it sounds like. We got to get the run in, maybe. All right.
Yeah, maybe.
So, all right. So now they're jogging, and we're getting. You'll see, obviously, the punching bag. We're getting into the non-music montage of them training.
But also, just really quick, there's so much in just this little scene. It's very Sly, or not. It's Rocky speaking. The way he speaks is so unique. Would I lie to a juvenile?
Yeah,
You're so
great
swift.
point.
You're so swift. Other like this. That's very selective wording, right?
Yes, Rocky. I'm doing it. No matter how many episodes I've done, Sly regarding the Rocky dialogue, it's a part of him. Now he really gets into that character. That's not how he talks, but we know with the Creed films, one of his conditions was that he wrote the dialogue for the Rocky character. So he liked Ryan Coogler's script. He thought, great story. Sure, I'll do it. But I think one of his conditions was he ghost wrote Rocky's voice because he said, I'm sorry, nobody knows Rocky's voice but me. Like, I'll do your storyline, but it will be my dialogue. All right, so now they're jogging, and we're going to see some punch bag work here.
Keep going. Keep going. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Now you got it. Okay. Ready. Time. I do it for you.
Okay, so we are seeing people are like, well, Ryan, you said Robert wasn't training. Yeah, Robert is training right now, but this isn't the Rise montage. Right now, this would have been prior to the montage, because this workers print has a montage. I actually posted on YouTube and on our Facebook page. So this workers print, the original montage was Tommy's Rise, but it actually occurs after Robert gets his jacket back. So what you're seeing now is the training sequence without a montage of just the storyline of Robert training while Tommy's training with Robert's dad. Now they're running down Italian Alley or Italy. What's it called officially? Is it?
What's
Italian
the little
Alley?
Italy area, like the Italian market? Maybe I don't know.
So they're jogging. Of course, the people in the street are cheering, and I have to believe, these aren't paid extras. These are just people on the street, and they're all cheering. They're legit cheering. I think this is just real crowd gathered cheering Sly and Tommy.
And Sly's talked about how like when he's in Philly, it's like he's always like, these people believe that like Rocky's real.
Yeah, they'll call out Rocky. Oh, Rocky! They'll call, and he loves it. I love that. I love that he loves it and he doesn't correct people. Like he just lets Philly call him Rocky.
Rocky's a better person than. I mean, Sly. I'm not saying anything Sly wouldn't have said. I think he's said that before. Rocky is a better person. Like Rocky's awesome. Like no real person.
He's a better person than me. The character.
Yeah, Rocky has no guile. You know, like Rocky would never double cross you.
No. We should all be, he is a character to live up to. Of course, you can create a character more than what you are, so to speak. So Sly recognizes that he wishes that he could be more like the character that he created for sure. But guess what? We're human. We're not Rocky. We're humans. We can't write our own characters that way. Well, we could try.
This is why Rocky has seriously ruined me for men. Because that's what I want. I want Rocky.
It's true. I want Rocky too.
It must feel great having people call you names. Hey, listen. You just keep working, and you're going to get it too, you know? Okay? All right. Keep up. 19.
Well, there you go. New dialogue. That's a whole new scene. Tommy says, now, again, this is a little bit of art, life and art, right? Because Tommy's saying, it must be weird having people call your name. And Sly/Rocky is saying, you keep working hard and doing the best you can. One day they'll call your name too, which could be a real nod to Tommy the boxer / maybe Tommy the actor or just Tommy the celebrity. So it's kind of an interesting life and art situation here. Again, a scene that I wish they kept in the movie. That's a very 5 seconds, it would have been a nice little touch. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have been okay if that scene stayed in. Like it was just fine. It has like the nostalgia running through that market. I think though, just to comment on the scene, when Rocky was training and stuff, like even past the first fight, it was never about people saying his name to him. Like he was about fighting. Like he was concentrated on that. And I feel like Tommy wanting that early in his career is like kind of a curse in a sense. Like,
sure. Yeah,
like you don't get to a point where people call your name by wanting them to call your name, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Like, you have to just, things have to happen like organically. Like you're trying to manufacture that. And I think you ruin it by trying to do that.
That was a good point. Yeah, that's interesting. Just FYI, guys, if I pause and you're waiting for the video, for some reason, it's like a 3-second delay. So if there's like an awkward silence, it's just me. I hit play, but there's like, for some reason, it's taking like 3 seconds to kick in. Okay.
That's a good shot, though, where he is right now. He's doing a good push-up.
Yeah, good form.
Like he's getting right down there for full range of motion. He isn't doing like a halfway push-up.
I would recommend his toes to be more straight. His feet should be more straight. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, good point. Hey, also Donald's thinking that they said we've got to get to Pittsburgh before breakfast.
Is Pittsburgh sort of near there? Like enough? I know it's not. They're really going to run there, but
no, I don't think it's anywhere near
it's
there.
in the middle of the state, in like Philly's on the coast. I bet you. I've never driven there, but I would guess Pittsburgh is about 5 hours away from Philly.
That's what I meant, though. Like it's far, but it's just a metaphor. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
20.
So for our audio listeners, Jimmy. Oh yeah, there's something coming up. I love it. You'll see. So Jimmy is training Robert. So he's got both Paulie and Jimmy helping Robert with his training here. So he's doing those knuckle push-ups.
10 more. 22.
It's extended now. We're seeing Robert with the medicine ball. All right, nothing. Oh yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Now we got Tommy and Rocky fighting. Training, sorry, with the punching bag.
Back and forth, side to side, get loose. Think about balance. Time. Hey. Time. You ain't got no balance, kid, all right? You're blowing your balance. You got to think about what you're doing. Hey, Jimmy, give me the string.
There you go.
Jimmy,
the string.
Yeah,
the string. Oh.
Did you catch what he said, though?
The balance. Yeah, you ain't got any balance.
Called him Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
Wait. They call him Jimmy in this one.
I'll go back. No, they never mentioned his name in the theatrical. Remember, we talked about how Jimmy, by the character, whatever this, we know it's Jimmy Gambino is the real life person. In the first film, he played Mikey. That's our whole joke. But here we have in the workers print, Sly/Rocky calls him Jimmy. Here we actually have it on print. He's referred to as Jimmy in the film.
I mean, yeah, because originally
Kyle's shaking his head. I just love it. So is that Sly effing up a little bit? Do you think?
Well, he's in the credits as Jimmy, and we had earlier without the work print, we had thought, they
that
never
was the joke.
say
The joke
it.
was well. Here's the thing. The reality is, all joking aside, the reality is it's supposed to be the same character from Rocky, the first film. We know that. It's just funny how he's still credited as Jimmy in the fifth film, but it's But here we go. We hear Rocky/Sly calling. I think I think either Sly just forgets this guy's name was Mikey in the first film, but he's worked with Jimmy for a while. He just called him Jimmy, which happens all the time. You hear that, you watch bloopers, like your favorite comedy show, or whatever. They have bloopers. The actors will call the characters by their actors' names in those bloopers because they work with these people.
They actually know them. Yeah,
they know them outside their characters of Dwight and Jim, or from The Office. Right, here we go.
You ain't got no balance, kid, all right? You're blowing your balance. You got to think about what you're doing. Hey, Jimmy, give me the string. Now, I had the same problem when I was coming up, So Mickey did the string thing with me. He learned it from Marciano. The thing is like this. When you can take this string and you tie it to your feet and you can punch this, right, without breaking the string, and like Mick said, you'll be a very dangerous person, okay? Tight. That's it. That's much better. Dig. That's it. Balancing.
Okay. So I can see to some degree, maybe why Sly cut some of this out, because we got the Mickey talk when they're running up the stairs. They have the Mickey talk again with the string. So maybe they felt maybe it's not maybe too much Mickey. Like, I think I have a theory why Rocky, the character, though, is doing this. I think he's a little nervous. I think he's nervous about training Tommy. So he's really relying on the only thing he knows about training is what he only had one trainer for a very short time, really, was Mickey. Because he didn't have any training. Remember, I asked you 10 years ago, you never helped me none. So he's never had any real help. So Mickey's the only one he can draw on. So here he is he would just be better off just saying, this is what we're going to do. Like, Mickey didn't mention, well, I guess he kind of did. He goes, this is what the fighters use to catch this chicken. So I guess, I don't know, maybe Mickey did.
I kind of like, because the most touching scene in the movie was the Mickey flashback, or not the most touching, but a very touching.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is I think for the viewer / Tommy's perspective, I wonder, because I think Tommy, remember, because he says in the car later in the film, I'm not you and you're not Mickey. Remember, that was the whole point. You stop trying to live your life backwards with me. Like, even Tommy called him out on that when he drove away.
Yeah, but it makes more sense if more Mickey talk is in the movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He could have also said, because for part of 3, I guess, like Apollo and Tony kind of trained him too.
Yeah, that's true.
He could have.
That would have been kind of cool. Wouldn't that have been kind of cool to say? Yeah, and Tony taught me this too.
Or even like you would think Tony would be there.
Yeah, why do you think he's not? Is it just that he looked so much older?
He's a
tough gym.
Yeah, I guess he has his own commitments. Yeah. Like Balboa, he's there, but maybe he's like retired from Tough Gym, and then he just. It is
weird that he's
just because.
Why is he? We'll get to that. Why is Tony in Balboa? Like, where would he physically be living? I mean,
I think he just came over from LA.
Yeah, to help him.
He's probably retired. He's probably bored, and then Sly's like, "Hey, you come help me fight again?" And he's like, "Wow, this is stupid, but this is a change of scenery, so let's do this."
I ain't got shit else to do.
Actually, no. Tony always has like an unwavering belief in Rocky, so he's like, "Yeah, Rocky could beat this whippersnapper."
But Tony was too busy training Adonis. Rocky didn't know about that. We talked about that too. Like, anyways, like when did Tony find out about Adonis?
But why don't they have Tony in this more? Why is he just in the first scene, do you think?
It is weird. It is weird that the actor Tony Burton showed up on set, his roll call, which I learned is what it's called, showed up on set for the one and for Apollo. Yeah. And that was like, that's it?
I know.
How much he got paid for that? Who knows?
I would have. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of would have loved to see Tony more. He does look noticeably older. Yeah,
he does look older. And the funny thing isn't this funny? They showed that at the beginning of this film to tell the audience this is taking place right after Rocky IV. Like, this is the timeline we're on. But then they aged his son. Isn't that funny how they were so concerned about the continuity for part 5 to show you, hey, this scene is taking place literally the shower after the fight with Drago. Like, oh, is that cool? We're in that world. Like, this is the moments after, which is a great idea. Like, we can get behind people aging. People age. We get it. So, oh, wow, we're here. Drago's in the other shower room just down the hallway, And 2 minutes later, your son's aged 10 years. Like, what? Why are you so concerned about one continuity thing and then you just blow it with the other
Good point.
one?
And the fashion. Like, we're very clearly in 1990.
Right.
And not 1985.
And the
or
soundtrack.
86, I guess it would be.
Again, Sly, all you had to do was not have the kid at the press conference and then say 5 years later.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do. Where's the kid? I don't see the kid. Wait 5 years. We'll wait 5 years. Oh, wow. Okay.
And 9.
Batman shirt.
And 10. Come on, you can do it. That's
it. It couldn't have happened in 1986 because Batman didn't come out until 89.
89. Oh, this is literally 1989. Like, they're filming, like, it was filmed in 89 and released in 90. So yeah, he's literally wearing swag from that era. Me and Sage wearing the same shirt. I had a Batman shirt too. Look, we're the same age. Sage and I are, I think, exactly the same age.
Okay.
May he rest in peace. Yeah. So yeah, he was like 15 when this film came out, and I was 15 too. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Bring it up. Yes.
That's pretty good, but you got him.
And for the record, I could have killed him at that same age in a fight. I was much bigger than him. Just for the record, Sly, I could have knocked your son out, but that's okay. I'm not going to take his milk money though. I was too nice. Okay. Now we've got Sly talk. I'm sorry, Rocky talking to Tommy. More dialogue training that we didn't hear during the montage of the theatrical cut.
Move side to side, you know. You gotta keep moving like this. You gotta eat too much jabs, you know. You gotta have a lot of leather for lunch if you don't move this head around, huh? Okay. Side to, you gotta mentalize. You see what I mean? If you see yourself doing good, you're gonna do good. It's like Mickey used to pound this into my head all the time. Side to side, side to side. Seesaw.
Third Mickey talk. I'm just saying, like, it's not bad or good. I'm just saying now this is the third in 5 minutes of footage or whatever. We've got the third. Now Mickey always used to say, I like the word. Yeah, I saw you smile there, Katie. Mentalize. You like that? Yeah.
Love it. And what was the
eat leather?
Oh, is that what it was? I couldn't
Yeah,
for breakfast. Okay.
Yeah, eat leather for breakfast or whatever. Because he keeps eating the jab, so you're gonna eat leather or whatever. Now we've got Jimmy working with his punching pads with Robert. And we get to see, I think we see here Robert's punching power. It's adorable. It's a little bit
adorable.
Watch.
Like a windshield wiper, you know, back and forth, back and forth. That's it, roll under, go to the body, Tom, to the body.
So we're hearing the dialogue of Rocky talking to Tommy, but it was showing Robert for our listeners.
That's it.
Okay, we see this in the montage of when he goes down and when Rocky yells, "Tommy's got guns." We hear that in the theatrical montage.
Oh! Damn, you okay? Hey, Tommy Gunn, you got some guns, don't you? Hey, can this kid hit or what? Hey, come on. The drinks is on me. This kid can really hit, huh? Hey, you look like you can cool.
Okay, so I want to go back a little bit there. So that was the famous scene in the montage again when Rocky sprays Paulie with water, but I think it's Sly fooling around with Burt Young. So that laugh that Sly does there is not a Rocky laugh. That was out of character. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and like Burt, yeah, he like looks genuinely.
Yeah, he looks genuinely surprised by that. Like this was like it wasn't in the script. Like when they had their table read, it didn't say Rocky will now spray Paulie in the face. I think this is them fooling around. So let's just go back, watch that with that mindset. That it was just Sly fooling around.
This is on me. This kid can really hit, huh? Hey, you look like you can cool. Can this kid do it or what? There you go. Come on.
So he recovered because this kid hit or what or whatever. But I think that laugh it's kind of cute. I liked it. It was a Sly. It was a like Sly laughing at the spray Burt in the face.
And he references drinks on him when we see later they go to the bar. They're at the bar together, and Tommy has milk.
It has milk. That's right.
That I didn't realize was milk this whole time.
I think now we'll see Robert's deadly. Teach him a couple deadly punches.
So Ryan, you're saying you didn't remove any music from all of this. This is just movie scene.
These are movie scenes, and we're getting there. So people are like, Ryan, what are you talking? No, there is a training montage, but it happens after this sequence of events. The training montage of Tommy's rise plays out completely. It's like I don't think we're gonna get through today. It's 7 minutes long. It's a 7-minute montage of him rising through the ranks, which I guess we just say it right now. Which answers all of our queries about now the timeline can make sense because we can make it however long it needs to be because he's got his jacket back. He's beat up the bully and they don't show Robert again. It's just Tommy rising through the ranks.
Sorry.
Yeah, go. No, yeah. What's your question? Yeah.
Do you know offhand how long the theatrical version montage is?
No, but I don't think it's even 7 minutes long though. Well, actually, no, it's pretty long. It's because they do it in two parts almost. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It seems like they just, for time, cut a lot of things out and combined it and put all this in a montage.
Yeah,
is my guess. Which did not already. It seems is not beneficial to the film, in my opinion.
So, Kyle, what do you think? What do you think about how they kept this workers print version of what do you think that would have been better had they just shown the fight with Robert getting his jacket back, then kick into the rise? Does that make more sense theatrically, or do you like what they did in the theater?
I'm gonna have to do something I don't want to do, but I think the way they did it was the right way. Even though,
theater?
Yeah,
okay.
Even though what you're saying is totally right about like the continuity from that perspective only, the continuity thing, this one makes way more sense. However, I think there's value in showing the two things happening simultaneously.
Well, they're showing that here. I agree with you. I know what you're saying. They are showing that here. It's just not done with the same maybe panache as the.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like I think the way the theater did it was good. I think I like the contrast that way. And so like this is a little more slow. This is like I don't really like the sly dialogue with Tommy here. Like when Mick used to say, like I actually agree with Katie in the sense that he should talk about Mickey too much because that causes a problem, or at least it's referenced later. But I just think the delivery of the lines and like it was just it wasn't working. So,
all right,
yeah, I'll decide the theater version.
Okay, we'll keep going. Now we'll get into the workers print version. I don't know if you saw it there, Kyle, when I posted it, but I kind of like it. They use the Vince DiCola soundtrack, and yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah.
There you go.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. His punch, like if you were a teenager and you got hit in the face with that would probably lay you out. Like that was like a decently hard punch.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just being a harsh critic.
He's not going to be heavyweight champion of the world with that punch, but like...
no, I'm just teasing. Sage, he's a good kid. Okay. Now we're getting to Union King as on TV now. He's won the belt. He's now the new paper champion, and we're going to see an extended cut of Rocky and Tommy regarding this win, which we did touch on, but there's more to it. Because remember in the montage, we hear Tommy say, "Do you think I can ever do that?" We talked about that. Well, there's more to that conversation here with the workers' sprint.
Union Kane, the new heavyweight champion of the world. The end came suddenly with just 2 minutes and 41 seconds gone in the third round.
What do you think?
Are you at all surprised?
I think that he's got. I like his belt. It's nice. It looks good. Huh?
Okay, so is that interesting? So they're watching the fight. They've watched this championship fight on their pay-per-view or whatever they're watching on their TV. And Tommy asks, "Hey, Rocky, you're the ex-heavyweight champion of the world. What do you think of that fight?" So we heard in the announcement there was that's a good trivia because I don't know if anyone knew that it was Union King won it in the third round, won the belt, and Tommy's like, they look very non-impressed. So Tommy's like, "What did you think of the fight?" And Rocky, who could never say anything derogatory. He's like, yeah, it's a pretty belt. I like the belt. It looks nice because he hated the fight.
Yeah.
He hates the fight. Mm-hmm. He couldn't say it though. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
Yeah, or maybe like say something encouraging. Be like, well, I think your turd's coming soon, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like basically say like, I think you could take this guy.
Yeah, we talked about that. Well, that's the question Tom's going to ask now: is do you think I can do that? And we heard that in the original cut or the theatrical cut.
You think I have a chance at that? For you? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You're kidding? Hey, anybody with 2 hands and a heartbeat, they got a chance. Time. So come on, time for you to hit the matches because tomorrow you're going to start just where I started. All right?
Okay, so did you catch that? So this is interesting.
Oh, this is right before the church fight.
That's right. I really wish they kept this because they make it very clear. And we see it, but it's cool that he's saying we're going to start where I started tomorrow. They kind of done some training because we've seen the training, right? It's kind of cool. We've seen the training, okay. But now it's Tommy's first fight under Rocky's tutelage.
Mm-hmm. It does make more sense. Yeah, this just makes more sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Imagine what's going through Tommy's head when he's struggling against whoever that guy is at the church fight. And it's like, like last night I thought, hey, maybe I got a chance to beat this world champion. And then I'm fighting this like shitty low-level club fight and I'm struggling. Like that's kind of like a back to reality wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could almost argue it ties in with him asking Rocky. He wasn't looking for, some people fish for compliments. You don't think it's like he was actually, maybe he's nervous already. Do you think I got to do you even think what I'm doing now is like, can I even get there to begin with? Are we wasting time now? Like he's not fishing for a compliment for Rocky. Maybe he's actually doesn't even know he can believe himself right now.
That's a good point. Cause in the theatrical version, it makes it seem like he's already had several fights given the montage when he asks that. Like at least me, I sort of thought he had already had several fights when he asked that question. And so that's why I was critical of Rocky's response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the response doesn't seem as weird now. He's just like, it's more of a calm down. Like you'll be fine. You've got a heartbeat. You got 2 fists. You got a fighter's chance. So tomorrow you're going to start where I started. We're starting at the beginning. Now there's a big scene coming up here, guys, which again, I really wish they kept. Check it out.
Is that right? I think it is. And he's not going to let Kane.
So for our audio listeners, Rocky turns off the TV. Tommy's going to go ready for bed. Paulie, of course, fell asleep during that 3-round fight.
Fell asleep is one way to put that. Yeah.
How many beers are sitting on the end table?
Yeah. But I think it's also Paulie showing you his interest about this fight.
Good point.
Like it means nothing to him because he sees it for the farce it is. He couldn't even be bothered to watch it. It's like whatever. It's a farce of a fight because he's always. But they're going to talk here, Rocky and Paulie.
Night, Rock. Hey, Rock. I want to thank you for giving me this chance. I really appreciate it.
Hey, home team, man. Yo, Tommy, you're gonna do great. Like,
I'll see you in the morning.
Did Paulie hear that?
Yes, we're gonna get to that. So of course, Rocky's trying to whisper because he thinks Paulie's like out cold. So he's trying to be respectful to Paulie being knocked out, drunk, and he's whispering, "Home team," But I really like Tommy's acting here. I thought he did a great job because he's showing a lot of self-doubt. Even after the home team, hey Tommy, you're gonna do great. Rocky trying to be lively and positive, and Tommy's like, yeah, okay, thanks. You can tell he's either very nervous or very full of self-doubt. But good job by Tommy, I think, acting that self-doubt out. I thought he really got crapped on for his acting in this film, and I don't know if it's worth, especially the scenes like this. I wish they kept that in, but he thanked Rocky, which was nice. Thank them for the opportunity because it shows here that he is thankful. There was a point that he was thankful. We know he turns to the dark side, but that's what makes that dark side turn even more impactful. Is that there was a moment right here where he was humble, willing to learn and listen to Rocky, but then it turns to the dark side later. Now Rocky's looking at Paulie. What did he pick up there?
Was it a cigar, maybe?
Was it a cigar ring? Is it those cigar rings? Is that what those things
the
are?
Foil, maybe. I don't know. It looked like a ring, but
it looked like a ring. But don't cigars have rings on them? I'm not a cigar.
I think it's like a gold foil, or that's. I don't know. I thought maybe it was.
It's weird
because
that
it's so dark.
It.
Yeah.
But it's weird that why would they Sly filmed and wrote that part in? Like, I'm going to pick this ring off Paulie because they pan with the camera to follow it. So it's something, but I don't know what it is. Okay.
what kind of percent you getting from the kid?
Okay, what kind of percent? I know about these things. So right away, Paulie's asking. See, here's the interesting thing. Paulie recognizes. Remember, he always did. It's our ticket, Rock. It's our ticket. This is our ticket. And so he always recognizes Tommy has great potential to rise. So he recognizes Tommy's ability to cause damage in the ring and go far. So he knows that. So now he's getting down to brass tacks. He's like, hey, what have you and Tommy talked about regarding when this guy starts rising up? Have you talked about money?
Well, because there's a fight tomorrow. Like the first, There's
a cut. There's going to be a cut. Whether it's $100 for the winner, you get 20 of it. What's your percentage? What do you think? Okay, before Rocky answers, what do you think his answer is? Any guesses?
Well, It don't matter. Something
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna
that.
say like 0. That's my guess is 0 because Rocky is shrewd.
What do you? Oh, you know, don't you?
I
Ryan?
know the answer. Let's
Mhm.
see how close you guys are here. Yeah.
Not very much struggle. Yeah. Well, you know, he's going to take care of me, you know, when he starts to move up. We're going to take care of each other, right?
Did you say 1 or none?
He said nothing. And then Paulie goes, that nothing isn't very much. And Rocky's like, well, you know, he's a nice person because I'm a nice person.
Sorry, Ryan, you cut out for a second.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What did Rocky say? I didn't catch it. Did he say 1 or none or?
I think he said nothing. I can go back just a bit.
Oh, okay.
He said nothing. Nothing.
Okay,
Nothing,
that's fine.
nothing.
That's fine.
But it's sort of sad because like it's okay. Not everyone's like Rocky isn't about that. We get that, and that's just a strength and a weakness. He doesn't mind busting people's thumbs, getting money from people. That's fine. So if Paulie was the manager of the money, he would go to Tommy. Look, Rocky's training you. I've been assigned by him to talk to you about the finances. Like, you're going to make money. What's his cut going to be for his trainer? This has to be talked about. And Tommy would have listened to Paulie, but no one's talked to Tommy. Rocky's just assuming Tommy's going to take care of him too, the way that Rocky did for Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Rocky has like a childlike type of innocent. Like in these films, I'd say Rocky and Rocky Balboa and Creed does not. I find like the older Rocky is like he knows what's going down and knows that
he's been burned.
like Tommy would turn. Yeah. And I guess this experiences like this is what taught him.
Okay, so let's hear that again. So I believe Paulie does say it. We'll listen again. I think he does say nothing isn't very much or something like that.
What kind of percent you getting from the kid? Not very much struggle. Yeah. Well, you know, he's going to take care of me, you know, when he starts to move up. We're going to take care of each other, right? It's a complicated world, Rocco. You don't think about it too much.
It's great. Man, it's such a freaking great scene. I love that scene. It's a complicated world, Rocco. What a great line.
Also, the way that he doesn't even have the energy to be his bombastic, argumentative self. He's just like
cold truth. It's just cold, hard truth.
But he knew it. He knew the answer when he asked it. He knew that, and he was just sort of like, I see this. I see what's happening, and when you just like feel so like, oh, I just don't have the energy to fight.
There's that, and I agree, and I just love how Rocky, even he kind of. Like he heard Paulie. He's not. Look, we tease him. He ain't stupid. He recognizes what Paulie's getting at, and Paulie says, it's a complicated world. And I love Sly's acting, which does that with his hands. He's like, you know how Sly does that with his hands. And he goes, he says, I don't think about it too much. Which is that I get it, Rocky. Ignorance is bliss, but it's gonna catch up to you.
Yeah, he's putting his head in the sand, basically.
Yeah,
I feel like too, even when Rocky was saying it. He could see, so like sometimes you have an idea in your head or you have an opinion of how something works or thoughts about something, and then in your head it makes sense, but then when you say it out loud to another person, even without them replying to you, you almost see it through their eyes when you're saying it out loud to them, and then you realize, oh, this is actually wrong or stupid or whatever. I feel like when Rocky said none and oh, he'll take care of me. So I think Rocky, at least in my mind, could see how fucked up that is when he was saying it. And then he's like, oh, I try not to think about it. So instead of like, I see it's messed up, but I don't know how to deal with it. I'm not going to face it. I'll just, assume it's going to be okay.
Great point. And also great point that this is phenomenal acting. He gets shit on, for not being very good. And this was a good scene. Cause even the way, you're right, the way he, nervously plays with his hands, but also his voice got really high pitched. Like it's almost like squeaked.
Yeah.
Like, cause he was, it was like an unsure, like, well,
you caught me in a corner. Like, I'm almost embarrassed that I haven't talked about this. And like, what do I do now? I told you the workers print, Rocky, the character, is less stupid and R word and like less goof. Like it's more of a drama. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, so now we've got Tommy sleeping. He's now sleeping in Robert's bed, literally and he's looking at the trophies, and he's down there in where Robert was sleeping.
I want to point something out.
Sure.
Much to my chagrin, if Paulie had his own place above the gym, he'd be there. He would be like sleeping on the couch there.
No, that's true. That's good evidence. Of course, we could go argue. He's just hanging up for the night to watch the paper.
Well, yeah,
I know.
Because Rocky puts a blanket over him, like this is a thing that happens often.
It's a good point. Yeah,
it's funny. We didn't see this like him. We didn't in the theatrical version see him in the basement thereafter. Like
no, we haven't. This is the only time we see Tommy living where they told him he's going to live. Yeah.
That previous scene.
I don't know why they cut out the scene of him like masturbating to Rocky's heavyweight championship belt. Like, I don't know where that one. I think that one would have been a useful scene.
Yeah. Because then he gets angry at it and throws.
Exactly.
Like, boy, the tables have turned. But when he walks out the door, for some reason in that previous scene, my brain was like, oh, he's leaving. Like that was an exterior door. That was the basement door.
Yeah, he's going to the basement door.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, good call. Yeah. All right. So I don't think there's any dialogue, but we will talk about the scene. We'll see Tommy. I think we'll just see Tommy in his head, and we can speculate what he's thinking. The night before the fight, right? Pretty nerve-wracking. I would assume it's pretty nervous. He's looking up. Camera pans up. He's the belt.
I told you why that belt's there.
That is a really weird. Why is the belt there? I mean, if anything, that's usually where you have like boys have a naked girl on their ceiling or something. Yeah, I don't know.
That's his drive. You could argue that's what he's driving for. Right?
That's why I mentioned why that.
I know. You didn't know this was on the workers' print.
Oh wow, the workers' print just also. Oh
no, I cut it out. I cut it out there. So. It now segues. So the workers' print segues into the picture of Jesus the same way the first Rocky film does, and then it gets into the theatrical. It's the same thing. It goes to the whole fight. Frankie Fear talk, all that stuff happens. Now we're not going to get through the whole thing because we're already nearing the hour mark of recording, but we'll start it. I just want you to hear now. So all this has happened. So now in your mind's eye, just pretend that it's all kicked in, right? Tommy's won the fight against, he's conquered his fear. It's the day after he did it. He's going. It's like, this is his. I want you to do one thing for me, Tommy. Win. That's his moment right now. He's won his first. He's on board with himself. You could argue he was his own problem. Now he's found his strength. He's able to tackle Frankie Fear, and this music kicks in, and this training montage kicks in. Tell me what you think about that.
Slip and slide, back and forth. Feel like a machine that can't be stopped. Whip and dig, whip and dig. Keep going. Come on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Dig, dig, dig.
Now, a couple things. Okay. You might disagree with me. Maybe some of the listeners will disagree with me. And I agree with Kyle, what you're saying about, yes, as far as the Robert storyline goes, it's interesting to see, of course, the father-son dynamic. We get it. Robert should be being trained by his dad to beat the bully up. But for a first-time viewer, and even as a long-time viewer, watching Tommy beat that guy, and then watching that, and hearing that Vince DiCola soundtrack comes, it's such a good soundtrack. I just love it. It's a callback to part 4. And I love hearing the Rocky dig, 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 all that stuff. Because in this moment, if you're a first-time viewer not knowing the ending of the film, again, it makes it more tragic. Because in this moment, you think, oh, man, this is just really another Rocky. Tommy's going to fight Union Kane. He's going to win the championship. Rocky and Tommy are going to be the new Mickey. Because it feels like that. This is very hopeful. You get this feeling this rise is very like we're going somewhere with this. It almost feels like just like a Rocky film. In this moment, it feels like we're really going to have a real Rocky feeling fight between Union Kane and Tommy, which never happens. But that's what you. I don't know. I'm a little bit hyped right now watching this training montage, and Tommy Morrison himself working the bag. You get to see him just as that's his job as a real boxer. He's really handling the training really well. I don't know. What do you got? What is it? Horrible that Vince Nicola's music is used here, or is it? What do you think, Katie?
I 100%. Well, hindsight's 2020.
Sure.
But it to your point, it feels like a Rocky. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
We loved that Rocky. Rocky 4 was a mega hit. And this is supposed to have happened just after it. So it does make sense. Yeah, it feels more like a rise training montage. And I wonder if the decision about the modern, one of the biggest criticisms about Rocky 5 is the music, but that's a 2020. They didn't, they could have wondered about using Vince DiCola for Rocky 4 because that was also a departure, so but it paid off. And so
because this soundtrack right now, like this music right now, does it age? Never, like you never get tired of it. You don't hear this go, oh, this is so 84. It just sounds good.
You're right. But you wouldn't have known that the 90s music would have aged poorly. You know what I mean? Like we have
it aged poorly so quickly.
Yeah, it did. It did. I really but Rocky 4 is my my favorite. It's my favorite.
It's a lot of
watch.
fans' favorites.
Yeah. So I like it.
I'm gonna cast the dissenting vote.
Sure.
Don't like it. Don't like that music there. I actually like that music in Rocky 4, though. Even though I'm not the biggest Rocky 4 fan, I actually like the Vince DiCola stuff. I feel like that track, and maybe it's because I watched Rocky 4 when I first heard it, of course. It feels like, okay, Bill Conti's stuff is like instrumental and like a little more old school, old-timey, classic type of stuff. Where it's like the Vince DiCola stuff is a little more technical, more modern, techie type of thing. And so it's like when you see like Ivan Drago trading in that like advanced area, that music goes well with it. I feel like it's out of place here. That music doesn't belong in Mixed Gym. I would have preferred to hear the Bill Conti stuff there instead.
Oh, I would have also liked that. I would have also said yes to the Bill Conti music here instead.
I do want to say this is a worker's print, so I don't know how these things work, but I would suspect, because this is not obviously the final cut or the final edit, of course, we've seen that this is a placeholder. So whoever put this together, the soundtrack probably wasn't even done. They probably didn't even know what rights of music they had at this point.
Sure.
So this is just a whole. They're basically like storyboard. We are now doing Tommy's Rise montage. Place music. So they probably just grabbed Vince because it's actually 7 minutes long, which is actually longer. They loop it in this montage. It's looped. It doesn't really the same song because it's 7 minutes long. So what I'm getting at is I think it's a placeholder. I mean, I like it, but you're right. How they just put going the distance. But then I would argue I think it's just too on the nose in the sense of like that's Rocky's theme. That's maybe the one reason why.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this music, they had both Drago and Rocky working out side by side.
Yeah.
So you kind of like it's associated with Drago a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think it's a placeholder. And they were working on the soundtrack. So I think we were never going to avoid the 90s soundtrack. I think they were going to put that in. I just now wish, fine, put in the modern at the time music. That's fine. I just wish they kept this montage as is because I think it just. I know what Kyle's saying. I don't disagree with his logic, but boy, it just answers so many questions and it just focuses on Tommy and Rocky, which I'm sorry, I like that. I like they're showing the student and master montage now.
Yeah. I don't know if we all are, but I feel like we're very picky about our music for Rocky because we did not like them reusing Rocky 3 music in the director's cut of Rocky 4, we're like, no. But here I'm like, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
taste, of course. Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna have different opinions. There's no right opinion because it's just whatever your flavor is. It's like saying
Mhm.
you like chocolate, I like vanilla. Okay, well, enjoy what you enjoy. But
Yeah.
it's tough. Yeah. So we're just getting. Well, let's turn down a little bit so we can talk over this a little bit. So, yeah, we're just seeing the fights are a little bit longer, so the sequences of the fights are longer, and I think they kind of make more sense too as far as the timings go. And but yeah, they're longer cuts of fights, which I kind of like. We're seeing more fighting of Tommy instead of the quick 2 seconds. We're seeing 10 seconds of fighting.
How did you know Robert had already gotten his coat back?
Oh, I cut it out. Like this is cut together.
Oh,
So the workers print. Yeah, this is not like I cut out for the purposes of the podcast. I'm
mhm.
only showing you right now. So, okay, let me rephrase this. So, in the workers' print, after we saw, Robert doing the one-handed push-ups and all that stuff, he got his jacket back.
Before this montage started.
That's right. In the workers'
Okay.
print, so right now in the workers' print timeline, Robert has his jacket.
Got it. Okay.
Then Tommy and Rocky watch the Union Cane fight. Then this whole sequence takes place.
However, we still get to the Christmas scene, which brings us back to the original
know,
3-month
which is
Which
timeline.
weird.
Christmas though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's the
next
argument.
Christmas.
Right.
But
You're right. Kyle.
probably not, though.
You're both right. The Christmas scene does come after this montage. You're right. But what I'm saying is we can now we can say sure it's Christmas
Next- yeah.
91 or
Mhm,
whatever. Yeah.
mhm. Okay. Do you mean 87? Because technically,
Okay, stop. We're done. We can't. I know it's ridiculous. So again, you're just seeing longer fights, knockouts, and there you go, Kyle. There's a black fighter earlier in the montage. Oh, I think there's more. Okay, there's more dialogue here. So now we have the scene of Rocky tossing, in a haphazard way, Apollo's colors to Tommy, and we're gonna get some dialogue here. And unlike the theatrical cut, we don't get that stupid edit of Adrian shaking her head in a weird way at Robert after the shorts are given. Remember, there was that weird cut that they put in. So Adrian is seeing the newspaper. Rocky's boy bombs away. She's reading about her husband's student in the paper. And then we're going to go to the trunk scene here.
interesting. There's another difference there. In the theatrical version, she puts it in the bird cage as like to capture the
Yep.
poop.
I can't
Fine.
remember
She
if there's
doesn't-
another scene. There might be another scene.
Oh.
It might be more than one paper reading scene, but yeah.
Yeah, the dog's barking there. Even the dog.
We got dogs barking.
Even I can see that this whole thing's gonna end badly.
Yeah, those dogs know about those things.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we hear more dialogue about the trunks here. I think.
Apollo gave those to me, and I'm giving them to you. Thanks, man. Hey, here you go.
So you earned it. I think is what he says. You earned them.
Yeah,
Like he's
maybe.
3 or 4 fights in, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that trading for a bit and winning a few pro fights definitely earns you probably one of those famous pairs of boxing trunks ever, and a piece of memorabilia that defined Rocky as a fighter. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know.
You earned these.
I think it's literally. This is a terrible metaphor. This is like Rocky is a virgin. He's on his first date, and he's getting hands with his girlfriend. So he's just everything's just coming out so fast. Like, I gotta grab that. I gotta touch this. I gotta go. Like, he's just with Tommy. He's like, here's your trunks. Here's what makes it. Here's the like. He's just too excited. Like, slow down. Let's do some foreplay. He's just too excited. He's all
Okay,
he's
I
all over
have
the
an
place.
analogy that might be slightly more appropriate for the edit.
Okay, sure.
We all know me. I'm all about keeping things above board and appropriate.
I appreciate that.
Candy, let's pretend it's a different universe and you and I are on a date.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And it's our second date.
Oh.
First date was just maybe a coffee date. And I'm like, hey, Katie, I just, I was walking by this store. Here's a $10,000 pair of diamond earrings to wear.
Good point. It's way too much. Yeah. Did we already talk about the fact that Apollo died in those, and then Rocky somehow got him off his dead body to wear again?
We don't.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe they're like, I don't know.
Right?
Well, they must have like the
dry cleaned him.
coroner or whatever took off his trunks and got him into a suit.
But wouldn't his wife maybe want those?
Yes, exactly. Well,
Or
maybe, I think Tony maybe.
Would she want the reminder of the clothing that her husband died in? I don't know. Who knows?
Good point.
I would
good
feel
point.
like Tony would get those, and then Tony would give it to Rocky. That would be the chain of custody.
Yeah, because he even shakes the shorts and
For
says
Apollo.
to Apollo.
Yeah. Well, he's packing them. I think he's packing them in Rocky's bag, I think is the idea. Or Rocky stole them from Tony on the plane. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's much more black fighters at the beginning of this montage style than the theatrical one.
It's all about equality. Rocky Ryan.
So we're seeing like Tommy fighting and Rocky and Tommy getting along, and they're now, of course, the George Washington says, "I can get to Rocky now." That's in the montage.
I think we can finally lay a bad boy.
What is he eating?
I'm not sure.
Probably like it's probably like watermelon or something. I was kidding. I'm sorry.
So this part here where Rocky puts the picture up of Tommy, I didn't recognize it was in the bar till the workers print. It's in the bar. So he's at
I
the
thought it was
bar
in the
with-
basement.
Yeah, I did
Good
too.
eye.
What the work print edit clearly shows is they're celebrating Tommy's rise in Andy's bar. They put up Tommy's picture underneath the Rocky statue in the bar to indicate, Tommy's becoming a part of the town, part of the lore that Rocky's a part of. And Rocky's kind of giving his thumbs up, like, hey, look, you're the new Rocky in town. People at Andy's bar cheered me in the first film. Now they're cheering for you in the fifth film.
It's too manufactured. You're trying to make it too much like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like, let Tommy have his own legacy. Every bum thinks they have a legacy.
Oh, I just got this is too corny. I don't know, but it just came to me. It's still heartbreaking when Rocky was talking to Robert, and he says, "Dad, what did it mean when like having me was being like born again? Because I see life through your eyes."
Yeah.
So he's talking about his son. He's excited to be a dad because he gets to see what it's like to be a kid again through his son's eyes, but he's forgotten that already because now he's seeing what it's like to be a rising boxer through Tommy's eyes. It just caught on to me that's another layer to this distraction from his kid, because he told his kid at the beginning of the film, having you is like being born again, and now he really is being born again through Tommy. It's like his love is with the wrong person for real now. Yeah.
Well, I think too, because he was saying that like he had a shitty childhood and Robert has all these cool things, and then he gets to kind of relive a better version of his childhood through his son's eyes. But then that got flushed down the toilet. Now his son lives in his old neighborhood that he lived in. That's just decayed. You can't live through your son's eyes anymore because you're just repeating your own childhood.
He's sleeping.
So he has to live through Tommy's eyes now.
He's sleeping with Robert. Sleeping with Paulie.
Yeah.
Also, how we talked about for the director's cut, how there was the way that they cut the theatrical version it alluded to something different. Like the message that we received was different. For example, like how Rocky and Adrian left things like that. This is the same scenario. This workers print versus the theatrical print. We're getting a different message.
Yeah.
Don't you think like even just these things, like we're like, oh, I don't know. So it makes me want a director's cut of Rocky 5, but like you said, we aren't.
I know. Oh, we'll never get it.
Yeah.
We'll never get. It'll never. Two reasons. One, because Sly was not officially the director, so he can't give the director's cut
or a Sly cut, or yeah.
The only thing they could do is they could, because it's a kind of a slap in John's face to call it the director's cut. So
don't call it the director's cut. Call it the Sylvester Stallone anniversary cut.
You'd almost have to call it yeah, I don't know how you word it. Like Sly's hand would have to be in it. You just call it the Sly edit, maybe.
Yeah.
You know how much that film would fly off the shelves if they actually made a DVD of that? Seriously, it would sell. But
this is a better message. Like just even Adrian reading the paper versus putting it in the birdcage. Like there's just so many little things that they cut the theatrical version in such a way to show us things that weren't actually true.
Yeah. You're right. The other reason why they won't do it is because Sly and his ego won't allow it. He has pretended to hate this film so much. The theatrical version, ironically, not the workers' print. He hates. I give it 0 out of 10. Like, shut up, Sly. Like, you're only saying that because your fans have maligned it. But over the years, the film has garnered. Put it this way: in 2025, the average Rocky fan likes this film more than they did in 1990. So this film has grown on fans in a positive way, where they want this to be redone. They're asking for it. But Sly has gone on record to say that he hates the film, and so he can't recut it because it's almost like in his mind he thinks he's polishing a turd, which I don't think it is. I think there's just I don't know. Okay, so we'll see what scene is after this, because we won't do the whole montage because it is long. There are scenes to talk about. There's the milk. Okay, so we'll start the next episode with part 2 of the montage, because there's actually little scenes, and then we'll get into whatever happens after the montage. But I don't want to like I said, I don't want to rush it, because I think there's a couple little nuggets. But yeah, I thought I was really excited about today. I don't know. Maybe you guys weren't as excited as I am. I hope you guys.
No, there was a ton of stuff that was new, so I liked it.
Yeah, it was all new. Like there was all those new scenes at the beginning, and I was just excited about the timeline issue being solved by the workers' print, at least for Tommy's rise. I thought, oh man, there you go. They had it originally. They had that originally, that Robert got his jacket back, then Tommy did his rise in the ring.
They're probably like, something feels wrong with this film. Like there's the continuity is like too good.
Yeah, I know.
we need to make a change. Like this just feels better.
more in line with the Rocky universe.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some. They still could have cut it. Like there was some fat still to be cut, but like, for example, that scene with Rocky on the stairs again. There's always stair scenes.
Yeah,
with Polly. With Polly. In the dark. Yeah, that was great.
You and your stairs. Good call. You're right. Steps. Steps.
On the steps.
So yeah, I'm really enjoying this Rocky 5 coverage. I think we might be hitting 30 plus episodes when we get through it. But I'm really enjoying it, and I'm seeing scenes as I'm putting this workers, because I actually haven't watched the workers print. I'm watching it for the first time as I edit for the podcast. I'm going through like bit by bit. So when this came up, and I was like, oh, I can't even do any of the theatrical cut because there's just too much here already. Like, I don't know. So the theatrical version does take over after this montage. That's when we finally get to the Christmas scene of, Santa on the roof and Rattlers and, 100 proof Santa and all that stuff. So yeah. Okay. All right. Well, guys, that was a lot of fun. Remember, folks, give us a like, share, all that good stuff. Send us an email. We missed them, or at least leave us comments on YouTube. We appreciate your input. Andy, let us know where we went wrong again. With that, whose turn is it? Okay. You pointed at me, or who you pointed at?
Oh, for my version, I'm pointing at Katie, but I realized
it's funny. No, it's funny. It looks like you're pointing at me. I get to say it. Oh, sweet. All right. With that, this episode is over.
I didn't hear no bell.